Greetings, fans. Welcome to ShiLounge. I am your host, Shin-Blade, and I must say that it's been a wonderful week after last week, which was the first episode of ShiLounge, coming off into the new year. And I would like to extend a heavy thanks to those who have listened, supported, sent me emails, texts, phone calls, and all things otherwise within communication. Either liking the show or giving constructive criticism, because criticism kind of helps you improve. So I give thanks to everybody who has supported as well by subscribing to iTunes, bookmarking the link that I have from SoundCloud, Stitcher, and other places that I put ShiLounge onto. Now, again, for those who are listening for the first time, this is a podcast where I interview entertainers, most notably wrestlers, singers, actors, rappers, singers, whatever people of interest that can bring interest to you as well as interest to me. This show is a personal journal for me on the side of things because I like interviewing people and I like traveling around, going from state to state, soon enough country to country, and if I live long enough, world to worlds, but that's a couple more generations, so none of us gonna be here for that. But not to be negative, let's turn into a positive. It's been a great interview with Bill Apter. He contacted me and said that he absolutely loved it, especially the being in Philadelphia. It's a pretty interesting town, but then again, I live in Baltimore, so there are the similarities and differences of being in the Northeast. But this past week, it's been a very interesting week in the world of wrestling news. I know it's an entertainment podcast, but I gotta say it because it's the pink elephant in the room, or in my case, purple elephant in the room. A lot of us watched the highly anticipated Wrestle Kingdom out of Tokyo, Japan. This is the 10th show out of the January 4th Tokyo Dome show, which is highly sacred. Some of us couldn't watch the show because we have 9-to-5 work lives, but that's okay as long as you caught it and watched the strong style, high intensity action. It's all good. But news came out of that stating that AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, Doc Gallows, and Carl Machine Gun Anderson have put in their notice to go to the machine that is WWE, the big company, as some people put it. Well, I will say this on the side note that I'm very congratulatory of them. When WWE calls, you listen. They are provided to be they are the number one wrestling company in the world, or just the United States period, depends on how you look at it. And most notably, that's where a lot of people go. So about nearly a year ago, I considered AJ Styles to be one of the greatest wrestlers never to step into a WWE ring, right after Sting. But in fact, he did a long time ago, in a time far, far away before he became phenomenal, facing Shane Hurricane Helms. And he actually begged on the Shy Blog episode that I had about a year ago about Shane Helms giving him the Vertebraker, which he pleaded to take. But since he's in WWE and Shane Helms is doing independence and being a highly successful independent star, I don't think that's going to happen for a while. So I wish AJ Styles well, or should I say we wish AJ Styles well, as well as the Japanese Michael Jackson, as I call him, Shinsuke Nakamura, and also Bullet Club members Doc Gallows and Machine Gun Carl Anderson. And personally, for me, I hope they don't change. I hope the name stay the same, and the following stays the same. Nothing really ever changes except for the fact that they're in the Machine Company now. But with being that said, I also have to let you guys know that about in May, I think, after Ring of Honor's World of World event, night 1, we did have a dinner at Denny's with AJ Styles, which is on my YouTube page under YouTube Shin-Blade. Now, if you can't find that in the search column, just go to channels. You'll see me doing the shy hands on the picture, and that'll be all my videos of shy blogs back when I was with UTMR, otherwise known as Under the Mat Radio. But to me, it was a great time to have. Honestly, I never thought I would meet AJ Styles or even shake his hand or even talk to him or just be associates with him. So I'm very blessed on that end. But this show is really, really packed. Apparently maybe having a theme or something. Maybe I should call it just rapping with. I have no idea. Because the featured guest on the show is none other than what I call WWE legend, or should I say a legendary WWE manager, Oscar from Men on the Mission. Will be I have an interview with him that I will load up on to the Shy Lounge for you to listen to, and it was a pretty interesting interview that we had. I met him about a year ago in New York City, doing Evan Ginsberg's Legends TV, which that's on YouTube as well. He's a nice guy. He's a Scorpio like me, so if you know Scorpios, you know not to tick us off, or else we plain just don't like you. It takes an act of God to bring us back. And being of a Zen nature, I can actually agree with that logic. But also last week, I did send out a little promotional tactic, not for me, but for people who are artists themselves. So if you are an artist, should I say a DJ, a rapper, hip hop artist, should I say, and you want to get songs and beats and let it be known to the Shy Lounge and spread out for free, just hit me up. Hit me up on my Gmail account, son. No, I'm just kidding. Hit me up on my Gmail account at shin.blade.808@gmail.com. I try to keep this as a PG-13 podcast, because I have kids that listen to it. I have adults that are not really acceptable to cursing on the show. So make sure your rap is, a little family friendly, even though the intent may not be, but at least word wise, let it be family friendly. That's all I can say. I can't have drug content or, overly sexual tones, as they have in today's rap music that they claim to be music, which that is a whole rant to be placed on another day. But oh my goodness, I missed a point here. Shin-Blade slipping. I also am going to upload an interview very soon of another interview that I had after I interviewed Oscar of Men on the Mission, which will be from Pro Wrestling Report's Linda Kay. This will be a downloadable content interview, as we took a small 10-minute interview during the show while people was getting ready for GLCW Blizzard Brawl in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It was pretty quick. I actually wanted something longer with her because she was one of my first people that I recruited to be interviewed on Under the Mat Radio, and apparently that did happen. And she's a very, very beautiful person. So check out my Facebook page under facebook.com/shin.blade.808. Same as my email address, so you don't have to memorize much. I will be putting pictures out of albums that of pictures, random pictures that we have on the show that we discuss, and pictures of me being on the road, just meeting people, shaking hands with them, even posing with them. If not, then you can catch that on my Instagram page, on Instagram at official Shin-Blade, and also you can catch the latest tweets and postings of links, shows, and everything off of Twitter under Shinsational One, at Shinsational One on Twitter, which is SHINSATIONALONE. Man, I'm doing so much talking, my mouth is getting dry. So maybe I just need to carry some water with me. Take a little quick sips while I'm talking. But then again, it wouldn't look right if I had this on camera because it looks like I'm drooling out my mouth, and that's not good. But before I get to the introduction of this week's artist and the song this week, I will tell you that this podcast is not sponsored by Graze.com. Bunch of healthy snacks from Graze.com that I get nearly every month, sometimes every 2 weeks if I go through it really fast. Offers healthy snacks, not like your Cheetos, Doritos, Fritos, and other Eatos that you have, which is high in salt, hypertension, blood pressure, even just bad for your health. Graze.com provides the most delicious snacks by mail, by UPS or FedEx, I forget what it is, come into your house or business with the latest snacks of a random box, just like the other box companies, of snacks that you enjoy and like. If you don't like certain snacks, after you sign up on Graze.com, you can also put your likes and dislikes of snacks that you can have, snacks that you're allergic to, or snacks that you just highly don't like the taste of. But what I will be doing is giving you a promo code to get your first and fifth box free from Graze.com. So if you log on to Graze.com, enter the promo code SYLVAN4ZB. That is SYLVAN4ZB, and you get your first and fifth box free from Graze.com. Don't keep them waiting. Snack up at Graze.com. Again, the promo code is SYLVAN4ZB. Tell them that Shin-Blade or ShiLounge sent you. Maybe I get a little kickback from it. So that's Graze.com. Song of the week is coming from an artist that I know that I met months ago, according to online, or should I say Under the Mat Radio, by the name of Montezi. He had a song, actually, it's kind of like a dedication to Roman Reigns, current WWE star, and right now current WWE champion. It's called Heart of a Warrior. That's a pretty strong title for the song, but I'm going to let you listen to it. And in fact, from what he told me, that he presented it to Roman Reigns, and I guess I'm just flabbergasted when he told me this, but he said that the song was so impressive to Roman that he has it on his iPod. So that's a little tip to the hat to Montezi. Roman Reigns getting ready for his match, setting up before he goes down that entrance to the ring, listening to the song that gets him amped. So how flattering is that for Montezi to know that about Roman Reigns? Hopefully I can see some tweets from Roman saying that, or just him doing that, maybe on a montage to WrestleMania or something. Who knows? But I give Montezi a lot of credit where credit's due. Coming out of St. Petersburg, Florida. I'm already jealous of him right now. He's probably soaking up the sun while he's being a freestyle lyrical weight champion. But then again, we're all working somewhere, so we all can't be in the sun. Some of us got to freeze. So shout out to Montezi. Shin-Blade said he got you. Thank you very much. And here I present to you Roman Reigns, dedicated Roman Reigns. The song is called Heart of a Warrior. Enjoy.
I told you. Even though I'm a prodigy taking over the game, even though a lot of people will doubt me because of fame, now you know I'm a legend and people will know my name. I'm a warrior, Superman heart, call me Roman Reigns. Even though I'm a prodigy taking over the game, even though a lot of people will doubt me because of fame, now you know I'm a legend and people would know my name. I'm a warrior, Superman heart, call me Roman Reigns. I'm a legend like Georgia Tech, I'm a yellow jacket. Find myself all over the world. Notice the man in action, ruler of the ring. Legend that's in the making. I am destined for the greatness. Don't ever get it mistaken. I'm the waiting. My time to shine. And I'm the leader though. Powerful, eminent grind, style magnifico. Champion in life, never will I be doubted. Toughness is in the blood and loyalty never crowded. Family's my truest support, I'm always here for them. People hating, stand in my way, I got a spare for them. I'm a head shrinker, king, son, a seeker. Warrior for blood and I always remain a leader. Moment of silence for anyone who was in my way. Never quit, never back down, I am here to stay. Unexpected when opponents try to take me down. Punch the ground, here's a Superman punch. Man down. Even though I'm a prodigy taking over the game. Even though a lot of people will doubt me because of fame. Now you know I'm a legend and people would know my name. I'm a warrior, Superman heart, call me Roman Reigns. Even though I'm a prodigy taking over the game. Even though a lot of people will doubt me because of fame. Now you know I'm a legend and people would know my name. I'm a warrior, Superman heart, call me Roman Reigns. Let me take them on a journey where they can notice a warrior. Sacrifice for soldiers, we on styles victorious. I'm like the Royal Rumble, I'm winning, taking the gold. Cause in life, you should know, it's always about control. In my soul, got the tribal that is tatted on my arm. Got to motivate for justice, so better ring the alarm. Just respond, we are on something that you have never seen. Got the Uso on my arm. If you want the triple team, nothing you have ever seen, something you can never be. Heart of being great, I want it all while I'm living dreams. The world is mine and my future is always brighter. Taking it all by storm to the moment that I retire. Never will I expire. Fire up the igniters. The rain is just beginning and blasting up through the fires. The world is now my storm and the challenges will remain off the chain. But the warrior, call your boy Roman Reigns. Even though I'm a prodigy taking over the game. Even though a lot of people will doubt me because of fame. Now you know I'm a legend and people would know my name. I'm a warrior, Superman heart, call me Roman Reigns. Even though I'm a prodigy taking over the game. Even though a lot of people will doubt me because of fame. Now you know I'm a legend and people would know my name. I'm a warrior, Superman heart, call me Roman Reigns. Even though I'm a prodigy taking over the game. Even though a lot of people will doubt me because of fame. Now you know I'm a legend and people would know my name. I'm a warrior, Superman heart, call me Roman Reigns. Even though I'm a prodigy taking over the game. Even though a lot of people will doubt me because of fame. Now you know I'm a legend and people would know my name. I'm a warrior, Superman heart, call me Roman Reigns.
So, I'm here with Oscar from Men on the Mission from WWE. How you doing today?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm all right. Well, we're in this big hotel. Can you tell me more about the hotel? Where we at?
The Hilton Garden Inn, Milwaukee Airport, because all y'all at the Days Inn, and they tell me Days Inn, and that sound like the crack house, so I had to upgrade a little bit.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that all the wrestlers were staying there. I thought this would be the hotel because it's very luxurious and nice and got the kitchen and everything.
Well, that's because David Hero's a cheapskate. But that's another, that was, and then they only do what y'all allowed them to do. Everybody would have got in the lobby and been like, David, is you serious? That all y'all would have been over here with me.
Oh, man. I honestly, I probably could afford one night just coming up here. Just be like, just coming in like.
It wasn't. It's probably not as expensive as you think. On the weekends, they have deals like $199, something like that. It ain't that bad.
Hey, I went to California and they had a nice hotel like this, but when we got up to the rooms, it was third world country. We didn't have a bathroom. It was like bathroom was all over the halls and the showers and everything.
What the hell hotel was you at in California?
It was some hotel. I forget what it was.
The hostel?
That's what it was. It was like
people up in the basement.
No, not in the basement.
No. You got to explain this to me. Where the hell was y'all at where y'all ain't had no bathroom?
Well, the bathroom was on the outside of the room where you had to walk through the halls and go to the bathroom. It was like mini bathrooms of floor. So
the why?
I don't know. I forgot the name of it, but it got to the point where
the hostel why.
Okay, I'll call it the Hostel Y.
Okay,
I'll call it Hostel Y.
Where in California? Because when you tell me, I want to go the other way.
Downtown Los Angeles.
Oh, but, yeah. Okay. You was subject to be anywhere.
We were next to Skid Row.
What the hell you would see that? That should have told you right there.
Well, it was that
When you got out there and you saw all the people sitting on the corner begging, and then you saw them all just clumped up together, looking like some tar pit city in Uganda. Then you should have known you was in the wrong neighborhood. You don't stay over there.
I didn't book it. My partner GB, he had people that he known that booked it, and I just went out there on the whim with him. And he was amazed when we got to the room.
You got to change that up. Did y'all actually stay there?
Yeah, we stayed there. It was all in the travel plans.
Man, you better than me.
Hey, life on the road. That's how it is.
That ain't how it is.
We all can't live come on now. I'm doing my own podcast. And, it's the indie wrestling life where we stay in Days Inn, Motel 6, the little Norman Bates type hotels.
You get on Expedia. See, that's where you're wrong. If you want to meet Norman Bates for real, then you stay your ass over there. you get on Expedia and you look up your own stuff. Look up what you can afford, and all that other kind of stuff like that. How many stars it got? Read the reviews. Do some research, brother. Then when you get someplace, you'll be comfortable.
So you don't do Priceline with William Shatner?
Nah. See, you ain't finna surprise me. Because, see, I learned a long time ago. I paid like $1.99 on Priceline, and then the Days Inn popped up. I wanted to shoot somebody.
Oh, really?
Yeah, what a scam that was.
How was the Days Inn?
How was it Days Inn?
How was it? Like, did you stay there?
No.
Really?
No, you really.
So this was just Expedia Hotel. It wasn't like flight, hotel, and car?
I think it was just hotel. But
Okay.
for $1.99, and this was in Chicago, I was like, oh, hell no, y'all can do a hella better than this.
Was it in summertime?
I forgot what time of year it was.
Okay, because I know hotels, they charge like up in the summertime. Even the crackhead hotels, they'll charge you about $80 a night.
Yeah, see.
But really, I want to talk to you about you. Like, you've been in the business. I feel as though that nobody talks about where you come from and, the beginning. So I just want to know your origins.
The beginning?
In the beginning, like straight out the womb.
It's funny you asked that question because this year at SummerSlam, my wife, Dreamy Mimi, actually took her back to the beginning.
Really?
SummerSlam was in Brooklyn, which SummerSlam was actually in the neighborhood where I was born and raised.
Whoa.
So we all stayed at the Sheridan, which is downtown, which is where I spent a lot of my time as a kid on that particular street. 5 minutes from there were the projects that I grew up in, the Fort Greene, Ingersoll houses. So we went over there in the daytime, I want to say, and I actually showed her the building where I lived at, where I grew up at, because I didn't leave there till my senior year of high school. I showed her the window of the apartment where I grew up in, and where I was there since I was 2 years old. And even one of my friends that I knew since I was 5 years old still lived in the building right next to that building. So we was able to reminisce. So, Fort Greene, Brooklyn, near the Barclays Center, that's where I spent my formidable years.
Really?
That part of downtown Brooklyn. Those are my roots.
Well, how is it then when you growing up to now that it's the Barclays Center?
It's a lot different. One of the things that I know that after I left, things got really, really, really bad, because, Brooklyn is no joke. It's a lot of crime in Brooklyn, a lot of young cats running around like the Wild West. But when I got to the projects, I saw something that I thought I wouldn't see in my lifetime. There are white people living there. There are Asian people living there. The whole thing looks different. They done integrated the area, and it was, it was a positive thing to see. And it really made my heart feel glad that it really takes a turn for the better.
Was it like a Whole Foods on the corner also?
Nah, they ain't got the Whole Foods yet, but believe me, they going in that direction. I wouldn't be surprised.
I remember Marlon Wayans on the Arsenio Hall show, the reboot. He said that he grew up in Chelsea, which I don't know which borough that is at in New York, but he would say that it would be like the Wild West, as you say. And then nowadays it's like a Whole Foods, and like now a lot of white people and alternative lifestyle people lived there, so you just can't rep like you did back in the day.
Well, see, with the Barclays Center, one of the things that New York has done in certain sections, and I didn't think Brooklyn would be one of them, especially that part of Brooklyn, they've industrialized it to the point where they had to police the area aggressively.
Okay.
When you were seeing that's what a lot of ghettos need. You know, if they did in a lot of ghettos what they did in that part of Brooklyn, police the area, enforce the laws, you know, stamp the drugs out, which they really could if they really wanted to put that manpower behind it, you would see change in a lot of areas, and that's what they did. That's what they had to do. When I was sitting, when we were sitting on a bench under where I used to live at, you know, I saw police patrols come through about 5 times in 2 hours. That's something I didn't see growing up. You saw regular cop cars, you saw detective cars, and that kind of thing goes on all night. So you would be a fool to try to slang any dope around there or do anything like that, because you never know when they come and they're going to get caught, and they are really, really vigilant about the security of the area now, and that makes all the difference. And then they have to, because you got corporate buildings in that area now that we didn't have growing up.
Really?
You got the Barclays Center now, like we mentioned. I mean, you got a 4-star Marriott hotel, you know, steps away from where I grew up. You got the Sheraton, which I mentioned, where we used to stay at. And I think that's where the old movie theater was, where we used to go to the movies at, seeing kung fu flicks when we were coming up. All that's gone, but you got all this high-end, high-priced property now. So, yeah, I mean, it's a big change.
So they drove the people out of Brooklyn, and they just built it back up. But I was going to ask you, what your days were. You were not far from Notorious B.I.G. as far as age, right? Because
No.
he said he was slanging too.
Yeah, he's a little bit younger than me, and yeah, we basically grew up. He grew up. I would say he grew up near the Fort Greene projects. I grew up in the Fort Greene projects, and the stories are parallel because I mean that's where, you know, we started rapping and carrying on and all that other kind of stuff like that, and doing it back then. You didn't dream that you would get to the level of where we got. I mean, 2 different directions, but the levels are similar because, you know, you was a kid rapping in the projects, you know, living hand to mouth. You know, your mother did the best she could, but I mean, you basically was dirt poor. And then, you know, one day, you know, you seeing a limelight and you rapping in front of 20, 30,000 people. So if you look at the struggle from you being a kid back then with a dream, and then you actually living that dream on a mountaintop, yeah, it's something to see.
Well, I'm a big hip hop guy, and you know I believe that hip hop is on a respirator, you know, a coma type thing, where you know you were talking about people doing it for nostalgia and fun and whatnot. Now it's like I'm gonna rap today, and tomorrow I want to get millions, and I'm gonna be on top of the world, and I think that's a lost cause in hip hop. Pretty much that, you know, it was positivity in rap back in the day. Like, you know, check microphone, check 1 2. What is this? Now it's like, you know, girls slanging and partying and getting high. So
I mean, I don't mean to cut you off. I mean, it's really sad because when rap first came out, you know, when I wanted to be a rapper, you know, it was Grandmaster Flash, Curtis Blow, the Treacherous 3, you know, I mean, they were all about the party and hip hop, and they inspired me to even want to be a rapper.
okay,
Because it was all, you know, it was all fun and the party and the ho and hey and, you know, and the party and have a good time and put the guns down. You know, now it's pick the guns up and let's go get hoes and all that other, you know, all that other kind of stuff like that. That if they rapped about that when rap first started, I wouldn't have been interested in it because I've always tried to be a positive cat. But, you know, but yeah, I mean, it's like Common. Common got the most prolific hip-hop record on that subject. I used to love her talking about how when it was a party and when it was a this, that, and the other, I was in love with it. But look at what you've become.
oh, okay. But I remember that record, and I was thinking about when you pulled up records. I was remembering the last record he made called "Nobody Smiling," which was about Chicago and how it was Murder City, and talking about that thing and the struggles. And to me, that was one of the best hip hop albums I've ever heard. I'm a big Common fan, and I did want to ask you about your love for hip hop. Like, how did you get into it? You weren't on the streets. I'm guessing that you had a tight knit family. Stayed in the house and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I saw rap as one tool and one tool only. I saw it as a way to meet girls. I ain't even gonna front. I'm like, rappers are getting all the girls and this, that, and the other. Well, let me try to be a rapper because that's where the girls are flocking to.
Yes.
But as time went on, and I was lousy in the beginning, to be honest. I mean,
Isn't everybody?
I was super lousy. I got a job at a club called Broadway International, which was, you had two clubs for rap in New York back in the 80s. Broadway International and Disco Fever. Now, I couldn't get a foot in the door at the Fever because in order to be one of the upper echelon rappers at the Fever, you had to have a record out or you really had to have recognition as a rapper, and I didn't have neither. Broadway International, however, was run by a Jewish man named Leon Brill. And Leon...
Always the Jews.
I know. But the guy that owned the Fever was Sal Abatello, and he was Italian.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Ain't nobody black owning these clubs. That's the point. Leon took a liking to me. He just liked me from the beginning. But I used to get on stage and try to rap, and they used to throw stuff at me and boo, and I mean,
so it was the rapper's Apollo for you.
It was the rapper's Apollo, but I got on stage every week because I worked there. I mean,
Yeah.
So, and I'll get off stage, and every week Leon be like, "Don't listen to them guys." Either he was grooming me for something, or it was just entertainment for him to see me get booed. To this day, I don't know which one.
Well, yeah.
After a year, I got better. I would like to think I got better, but I guess the truth is they was like, "Oh man, he ain't going nowhere, and we tired of boring him, so let's just let him introduce the act."
Wait a minute, but you got
or whatever.
Wait a minute, you got in the World Wrestling Federation.
Oh, that was way later.
The way later. Okay, well, coming up in there, you kept rapping, and you stayed in Brooklyn. But what led you out of Brooklyn, and did you travel before?
My family moved to Los Angeles.
Okay.
And everything changed. In Los Angeles as a rapper, I was a superstar.
When did you move to Los Angeles?
I moved to Los Angeles in 1987.
Oh, okay. This was when NWA.
No, this is before NWA.
I think they had a record before the Straight Outta Compton. They did like Eazy-E and NWA.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is my rise in the rap game in L.A. came before there was an NWA even formed.
Oh.
I was with a guy named Mixmaster Spade, and one of the first rappers to gain notoriety in Los Angeles was Ice-T. Ice-T was rapping way before anybody.
Yes.
Like I said, I was with Mixmaster Spade, and I was one of the best there was out in Los Angeles because what was bad in New York was good in Los Angeles because Los Angeles, was an infant when it came to rap. So, I was a street superstar when it came down to rapping. We used to make tapes and sell them for $20 a pop out our trunk of the car all day long, all day long, all day long, all day long. And, it was like that. So my dream was like anything else, to make records and, all that other kind of stuff like that. What wound up happening was I met a man, and in life, you can meet one man to change the course of the rest of your life.
Yes, indeed.
A man named Norby Walters. Now, Norby Walters was the agent to the stars. That's what he's called. Norby Walters represented every black act that was singing at the time, and he would throw them on tour. Rap groups, Curtis Blow, Grandmaster Flash, Sugar Hill Gang, The Temptations, Patti LaBelle, Natalie Cole. He was the agent, the booking agent for all of them. Luther Vandross, I don't care who it was. If they were black and they were singing, Norby Walters was their agent. When Norby was on the cusp of retiring, that's when I met him at a music convention. He took a liking to me and knew that I had something.
Okay.
He brought me to a party, and the party that he had William Shatner there. It had Tom Cruise that just left when I got there. This is how deep this party was.
Were you starstruck?
Yeah, I was. And he had me rap at this particular event. And when I rapped at the event, I freestyled it and nailed it. And all of these big stars in Hollywood, all of them pulling left and right because they all had their own plans for me. I mean, they were like, yeah, we're going to do this with them. We're going to do that with them. We're going to do this. And, I mean, I was basically, like on my way.
Okay.
Now, fast forward, and there's a lot to the story, but fast forward, what wound up happening was there's a comedian named Andrew Dice Clay, and I know you know who that is.
Andrew Dice Clay surprised me as a kid because I kept thinking he was Italian growing up, but in turn he's Jewish.
Turns out he's Jewish. I learned that later too.
Yeah,
I thought he was Italian too.
And Andrew Silverstein or something.
Silverstein, yeah.
And he was so spot on with his act that he was like, that's an Italian dude, and you learn later on, like, you Jewish, like you that dirty,
right? Yeah, I thought he was Italian too, and it was like, it was a young mafia guy that I knew that told me he was Jewish, and I was inclined to believe it because he would know.
I'll tell you before you start on, there was another guy I thought I was Italian, but he's Jewish too.
Who that?
Brad Garrett.
I'm not surprised.
The big brother from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Everybody Loves Raymond.
And
I'm not surprised.
And for you wrestling fans, he was Hulk Hogan in the cartoon series, the Rockin' Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, you can go ahead with your story.
So Dice took me with him to Las Vegas, and in Las Vegas, that's where I did the rap for Macho Man and Vince, and that's where the history comes from with Men on a Mission.
Okay, because what I remember in retrospect is that I clearly see you in the audience when Bret Hart had just lost the title to Yokozuna, and Hulk Hogan was there, and Bret Hart was pushing
Vince
them.
Personally got me tickets.
Yes, and I'm just seeing this guy, and I'm like, that's Oscar from Men on a Mission.
Yeah.
Like, okay, where did that come from as far as being there at WrestleMania to now being Men on a Mission? Like, I mean, well, not now, but 94, 93 when you first started to get on TV.
Because when I had a telephone conversation with Vince, it was like a week before WrestleMania. I asked him for a couple of tickets, and he was like, hell yeah, and gave me them tickets and them great seats. And a month after that WrestleMania 9, they called me up to Stamford, Connecticut. That's where I met Mo and Mabel, and Men on a Mission was born.
Okay, so you never knew them when they were coming up. They were in the USWA, and I think they were like the Knights.
Harlem Knights.
The Harlem Knights. These guys are Men on a Mission from Harlem, New York, and you're the only one, real world-wise, that is from New York.
Right.
And when I first heard Mo on your show, I was like, that's not Mo. Like that accent that he has, and I thought it was Kamala because Kamala has a deep Mississippi accent, and I was like, that can't be Mo. That can't be Mo. And it turns out it was. And I talked to him a couple times. We're pretty close friends as far as social media, and I reach out to him, and he supported me in what I do. Like, he gave me kind words. You're a friend in mine, Evan Ginsberg.
Yeah,
I talked to him, and we were actually, for a fact, if people don't know, we were on the episode together November 1st, 2014.
Right.
And everything was history. It was a great show, and I kept doing the Shy Hands. And to tell you, not to take away from you, my mother loved it, and she inspired it. So that's why when I take pictures with people, I do it, and that was it. The only person I got heat from was Jay Lethal.
Why?
From Ring of Honor, because he thought I was being sacrilegious to Christians, and his mother is Christian, and I squashed it in about 4 months when I saw him again, and I told him, and that was it. But you met Men on a Mission, and how did it go when you first met him?
Oh, it went terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, can you elaborate?
Well, I had lived in L.A. at that time for years, and I had really gotten used to a champagne lifestyle. I mean, I was staying in big hotels. I was rolling in limousines. I was making money. And they were pretty much country. They were simple guys. So, they would want to do stuff like eat at truck stops, stay at Days Inn, other kind of stuff like that. And I was like, no, I want to do just the opposite. So we would clash and butt heads on. Just about everything.
Do you think they were trying to save money when they said eat at truck stops?
Oh, I'm sure they was. Yeah.
Okay, because
I didn't. At that time, I didn't care about that because number one, my expectations were very high. We were in the WWF, so I was expecting that we was getting ready to make a mint. We in the WWF. We on TV. What the hell y'all being so frugal for? I mean, it is time to party. It is time to splurge. I mean, we finna be in mansions. Well, y'all want to eat at a truck stop? Come on, quit playing.
Well, Macho Man, he was world champion in '88 when he first won the title, and stories were going around that he was sleeping in hotel room floors. And you think it was a bad rumor or anything, but you learn from his father. And I saw the Macho Man DVD, and he clearly says that on tape. Spend as less as you can.
Yeah, well, in hindsight, is 2020. In hindsight, you learn that the best thing that you can do, that you should have done, was save as much as you can, because that pot of gold you was expecting wasn't rocking as many diamonds in there as you thought you was going to get. So, but see, one thing I learned to do in life, the life is no do-overs. I don't look back and talk about what I should have did or what I should have saved or what I shouldn't have bought or all that, because it'll drive you up the wall.
Yeah.
I had a good time. I'll tell young cats today, I don't care if you can Global Force, Ring of Honor, today's WWE. Number one, meals are expensive. Number two, getting around is expensive. Hotel rooms. Stay safe, but stay moderate. You don't got to check in no crack house to save no money, but stay moderate. And leave them hoes alone, because if I would tell you where it was, for my money, it was 15% travel, 20% lodging, and 65% bitches. That's where
really?
Yeah.
So this is why, like, most of the time in the business, people are dating the guy wrestlers are dating the female wrestlers.
Yeah,
is that
it's a
to
smart
save
thing
money,
to do, 'cause,
even though it's bad for business sometimes.
Yeah. Pimping might not be easy, but tricking to get you broke.
I gotta get the Godfather one day and see how bad pimping is.
Yeah, well, for him it might be all right. See, he's on the right side of the coin. I was on the other side of the coin. I was out there, with the ring rats and just in the girls and the this, that, and the other. I told you the sex and money business, and I was a freaking jackrabbit.
So you weren't the. I was gonna say for the as far as the loose women, you didn't get the women that was like, I'm with you because you're in WWF. It's like, I'm with you, I'm charging you this money.
No. You no. I wasn't pulling them off the track and calling 1-800.
Oh yeah.
No, when I say that, it's a thing to where when you snatch them out the audience at a show, or you meet them, you spending money on them. You taking them out to eat, and you doing this, that. You doing everything to get to that end game, which is to get them into bed at night. So what I'm saying is it's expensive in that regard, not you paying for it. Which you are, okay,
Yeah.
You are paying for it.
Yep.
All right? But it's not no direct transaction.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you what, the money you spend on dinner, the money you spend on a nice hotel because you're trying to impress them to some extent, the money you spend on, giving them a Snicker bar at night, feeding them a Snicker bar at night in the bed, and all that, yeah, you better off going to get them off the track. It's way cheaper. Because if you add that bill up to that bill, believe you me, it's a big difference.
Well, I mean, I'm fortunate that the area that I'm in, I date women that like nice things, but they're very, very minimalist.
Good.
Where, like, I would have them in somewhere like Days Inn. It's like, oh, okay, you're just sleeping here. And it's like not a problem.
Yeah, well.
So, yeah, I know.
It may, you know what, and the way it is, it may not even have been a problem. But in my mind, well, see, I've been a hotel snob ever since the 90s. So it probably was more me than them. But like where we at right now, like the difference between the Days Inn and the Hilton Garden Inn, I'm just one of them kind of people where, you know, where I lay my head at night makes a big difference to me. Now, if I don't got no choice, that's one thing. But if I have a choice, which blessedly, you know, at this particular minute I do or did, and back then, the way I was making money back then, I really had choices.
Okay.
So I'm just not that guy that I know I'm saving money going to Motel 6 or the Super 8 or the Red Roof or anything like that. But when I just looked around at my surroundings, I just like, nah, you know. But a hotel that got an escalator in it and a big front desk and 3-4 restaurants and, you know, 7 pillows on the bed and marble in the bathroom. I mean, I was really, like, impressed by that kind of thing. So that's where I went.
Well, oh, my goodness. We're talking hotel talk on this show. I pretty much got to split it in two, but I'm gonna take it back to Men on the Mission.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not here to rub dirt on WWE or anything like that, so I'm gonna talk about Oscar and Men on the Mission. I know Mo's gonna be listening soon, and I know Nelson is listening right now.
Yeah.
He's up in the great beyond. But how is it how is it also on the road as far as rental cars? I know you got funny rib stories as well. Funny stories, things that happen. Some things that happen that you didn't find funny, but you find funny now.
Now, when you say as far as rental cars, what you mean by that?
Well, you were talking about how like they like to eat at truck stops and Days Inn and rental cars. I'm talking about like pricing and money and everything, like travel.
See, we didn't have a credit card at that time, so the WWE office would rent our cars they would give us these vouchers for the rental cars, and I mean after about every quarter we would get docked for the rental cars we was renting, and that was like Pearl Harbor.
I know the feeling.
Oh my God! I mean, first off, because of Nelson's size, you couldn't rent a mid-size car.
Yes, you
had to get like a Cadillac. So imagine. Just imagine willy-nilly the cost. I mean, you're not looking at the sales where Budget got cars for $35 a day or this, that, and the other. It would just go with the flow.
Oh, okay.
So the rental car bills even though they were split in 3, oh my God,
they couldn't give it to you about a week or about a month.
I don't. Like I said, they didn't care what they did. They would just renting them. Just put it like that for lack of a better term. But I mean, the tension got to the point. This is how tense it got after about 6 months.
Okay.
Where I was riding with other people. I rode with Lil Vic Borger for about 3 months.
Really?
Yeah.
I liked that guy back in the day, but I never heard of him after three or so months.
Yeah, I rode from town to town with our in-ring enemy, kayfabe on doing it. But I rode with Lil Vic. Matter of fact, me and Lil Vic went to the hood. I went to get a haircut, and he was fascinated by the hood. He was all outside, walking up and down the block, looking around. I'm like, if you don't get your German SS looking at back in this barbershop and sit down, I was scared to death. But I was more scared of somebody wanting to try to pick a fight with him.
Okay.
Than I was of something happening to him.
Was he as tough as his character?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, I don't want Lil Vic going out here killing one of these brothers out here, because that really would be a real bad look. So I really wish you get in here and sit down.
Well, that's an amazing story right there. Now, I was going to say that I know that that Nelson, he was in size. People that know Mabel, he was like toting 500 pounds.
5 and change.
So you had to get like SUVs. I didn't know he could fit in the Cadillac because the roof is so low.
Yeah, we never got an SUV.
So
we got a Cadillac.
Okay.
And he would fit in there, but that would be about the smallest kind of car we would get.
Okay. Well, Honestly, one of the moments that I wanted to talk to you about was the infamous moment where you were on Survivor Series, '93, when you were part of the Doinks.
Yeah.
Now, I think it was you guys and the Bushwhackers against, what was it, the Head Shrinkers, Bam Bam and Bastion Booger.
Yeah, that was it.
How was that experience? Because a lot of times, a lot of critics rip on that match as far as being one of the worst matches of 1993. And as a kid, I found it very, very entertaining. Because you got to give something to the kids.
Well, it was one of the most fun nights that I can remember in my tenure there. It was a thing where, I mean, you knew from the commentary of the programs leading up there were going to be 4 Doinks. But we didn't know that we were going to be one of the Doinks until we actually got there that day. I got there that day and makeup was like, yeah, we need to see you. And then they put the clown makeup on me, and I was as shocked as anybody. And when we bust out that curtain, the fans lost their mind. I remember that.
In a good way?
Garden.
In a bad way?
No, in a good way.
Okay.
I mean, they really, really, really had a good time. The rap was spot on, and everybody was partying because they did not see that one coming. And the match was supposed to be hilarious. It was the Doinks, for God's sake. I mean, come on, people, lighten up. And to this day, it goes down as one of the, you look at silly match DVDs. It's in there, but it was just a great time for all of us.
Well, personally, I thought the match was good. It was entertaining, but I think people took it seriously. That's why it's one of the worst. They label it the worst matches ever. And, you're going against the Head Shrinkers, a couple of cannibals from Samoa, Bastion Booger, who was a glutton, and, you had the only person that was no nonsense was Bam Bam Bigelow.
Well, let me tell you something. People call Men on a Mission one of the worst tag teams ever. There are always going to be critics of everything, I mean, so I personally don't go by that. All I know is it was a good time. It was different. And even if they call it the worst, even if they call you the worst whatever, at least you going down in history. You understand what I'm saying? You go down in history as the worst, but you going down. So, I don't know what to say about that. I had a good time.
Well, look, I was on WWE Network, and they said the worst factions ever. And I think one of my favorites, and it's a dubious one, is called MIA, the Misfits in Action from WCW. I thought they were hilarious.
Well,
and they said it was a failed faction. And I guess they were talking about how, like, factions supposed to win gold and be relevant in merchandise and sell it. They said the BWO was one of them, which I didn't get either because they were so over with ECW fans.
Well, like I said, I mean, you're going to have your fans in anything. You're going to have your detractors. The sad part is detractors a lot of times are louder than the fans of things. So that's the reason why, that stands out.
Well, one of my favorite female wrestlers I mark out for on NXT is not even an NXT wrestler, and her name is Blue Pants. Leva Bates, her song that comes up, which on this day they changed it, and I think it's a horrible song. But when Colin Cassidy started singing "The Price Is Right," I think it's a better song, and she does cosplay. But I mark out whenever I see her because she had this thing of not being known, and she was so over with the crowd, and that's the thing in wrestling that I base a lot of things on is your character over. Now, when you came out with the Men on the Mission, gimmick with the purple and gold, and you kept rapping and everything, the kids were with you. Whoop, there it is, Men on the Mission. They were hey-hoing in the crowd. So you guys were one of the most over tag teams I ever saw, being in a black tag team as well. So, you rapping, and then Nelson being of size and Mo being the partner of Nelson on the team, it was just great. I mean, you guys are former tag team champions, as said in the books. I didn't find out till years later. You beat the Quebecers, right?
Yeah.
And then also, are you guys turned heel? and they turned heel on you.
Right.
And they beat you up, and you got sent away. And as a kid, I'm like, dude, that's your brother. Like, why you gonna beat your brother up?
Right.
And can you tell us about that?
It was, like I said, I had got burnt out. Number one, was ready to go because Vince actually offered to turn me heel with him, but I was burnt out, ready to go and try other things. And you know, I always had I was doing anti-drug things in schools, and you know, saying yes to education with kids. So with that broad of an audience looking at me, I didn't want a negative connotation to my character.
Okay.
Those are the two things that really prompted me, you know, to get fired by them, you know. But it was sad for me because it was the end of an era. It was the end of something beautiful.
Yeah.
I honestly believe in my heart of hearts, and I believe then and I believe now, it was the wrong time to even do it. But I think that the WWE makes a lot of mistakes when it comes down to that. I think they make when they broke up the Wyatts, right?
That was a little.
That was
crazy.
the wrong time to do that, but
Yeah.
they learned that because look at that, they put them back together.
Well, I believe that not Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, he had something going for himself. You know, I questioned him being Intercontinental Champion because it was no build. It was out of the blue.
But what I'm saying is, you know, for them to do that, it was the wrong. I mean, I think it was good to be done eventually, but when they did it, because they had just started gaining momentum doing it, you know, when they broke the Shield up, I honestly think it was the wrong time to do that.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Honestly, I was afraid of that. Like, afraid of that when they broke them up, it wasn't going to be anything from them. Like, one guy was going to rise to the top. And I think so with Seth Rollins. Like, he's like this heel character. I love his work style, you know, his CrossFit and everything.
Okay, and you hit the nail right on the head with that. You may disagree with what I'm about to say. Seth Rollins is very, very talented in the ring. I look at him, and I'm like, I mean, that boy can go. But Seth Rollins is champion. Who gives a damn? I mean, I put it like this. Seth Rollins against who at WrestleMania is going to sell the place out, unless you have other matches that can actually support the event as the main event.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when he became champion out of WrestleMania, I liked it because it was something out of the blue. You didn't see it coming, and plus the consensus in the crowd was they didn't like Brock Lesnar because he was hardly there as champion. And then
Right.
Roman Reigns had a broken build as going to the main event. They said we're going to push this guy to the moon, and people started booing him. Even his cousin The Rock couldn't help him in Philly.
Yeah, you had Seth Rollins who you couldn't even call him part time. He just show up when he just show up whenever he show up.
Well,
so yeah, him being the champion wasn't really plausible.
Well, I think so when it first happened, but when they start booking him against Sting and Kane, I just said they're just filling in slots. Because I wrote an article in October about Sting being in WWE, and he lost to Triple H in WrestleMania, which I was looking forward to that match, and then I hated it midway because it turned nostalgic. And when Sting came back to face Rollins, I'm like, who did Sting beat? Like, he just had marketing and name value. And then there was a couple fans out there, the marks, are saying, yeah, Sting's going to beat Rollins. And I'm like, no, he's not. Like, Rollins might get disqualified, find a way to get out the title. And then you bring Kane back into the mix, which I did like his character, the evil Kane and good Kane. Good cop and bad cop. But, again, Kane is a team player, and he I wouldn't say job though, but he put Seth Rollins over, and now Seth Rollins is injured, and I'm wishing him a well recovery.
Well, I mean, yeah. I hope he come back. You know, where the hell is Cena? I mean, you know, a lot of characters, quite a few characters missing from this comedy, but I don't know. It's a thing where it's a thing to where, you know, you bring up WWE. They're just struggling right now to really, like, find their place. I mean, they got the network going on and all other kind of stuff like that. $9.99, by the way.
$11.99 in Canada.
Yeah. Oh, it's $11.99 in Canada?
Oh, yeah.
What is that, a boot? I don't know. I mean, I hope they'll find their way. I watch every week because I talk about them on my show. You know, I'm going to TLC. I'm going to WrestleMania. I remain a fan, but you know, and I saw, you know, I ain't saying nothing to him about it. I was talking to him about some other stuff. I saw Triple H and Mark Carrano a few weeks ago at an event in Boston called the Concussion Legacy Institute event, and I actually saw him and we talked for a bit. I didn't bring nothing up, but you know, incidentally, it was interesting because I saw them at the event and we were kind of hanging out, and all of a sudden, towards the end of the event, they all got rushed out of there like, you know, like they were running from the FBI or something. And they were getting rushed out because they were all going to go back to the office or hop on a plane because of what happened to Seth Rollins. So, yeah, I saw their reaction to that. Because it happened that night.
You were there when Seth Rollins got injured and they got
No. He was overseas. But I was with Triple H when it happened.
Okay.
And Triple H and them rushed out. And I didn't know why they rushed out at the minute. But yeah, as it turns out, we found out later on that night that Seth Rollins, it was a shoot that he legitimately got injured.
Yeah.
So they either rushed out to go to the office in Stamford because they had to retool the Survivor Series real quick, or they rushed out straight to the corporate jet to fly over there to go see about Seth. So
did you see the video of him injuring his leg?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, it's an ugly injury.
Oh yeah, I could imagine.
To me, it's almost as worse as RG3's leg when he got hit by Haloti Ngata in his first year, where he jerked out and he got back in when he got tackled.
Oh yeah,
and it's not as bad as Joe Theismann.
Okay,
but you know, you're a positive guy. I mean, you like the positive rap. I like the positive rap. And then I seen you at New England with a opening rap. You know, shout out to Joseph Bruin and Al. I forget his last name, Jara. But now that you're out, what have you been doing over the years? Like, you know, you have Not Your Mama's radio show.
Well, when I got out the WWE, I got in real radio, mainstream radio, a show called Mancow's Morning Madhouse in Chicago. I did sports. And, you know, since then, I've been in different radio situations, you know, signings, conventions. You know, I worked a regular job for, in a couple of intervals in my life because, you know, I got to keep paying the bills. And that was ugly. That just was depressing. I mean, I used to be a superstar and now answering the phone, talking about, would you like to buy this insurance?
Yeah.
But I keep keyed into the entertainment business, you know, the money side of it anyway, you know, to make ends meet because that's what my passion is. That's what I'm most knowledgeable at, and that's what my heart is.
And to stay at hotels, too.
Yeah, exactly. And now I'm working on a program called One of Equilibrium where I am going to take former athletes across the spectrum that have depression issues and don't know what to do when they're out the game and put them in support groups and a hotline and a whole bunch of other positive things so that a lot of people that are aware of it can come to solutions. And, you know, because suicide among especially our people is running rampant. You know, I mean, it's at an all-time high, and they do it because they don't have a phone number that they can pick up the call when they feel in a certain kind of way or anything like that. So we want to implement that for our athletes, not just in wrestling, but basketball, football, boxing, whatever. You know, they don't have a platform to go to when they need somebody to talk to or anything like that. So we're going to create that kind of situation so that, you know, our people can keep living and, you know, live a normal life.
Well, now I feel like I know two people that's doing positive work. I mean, I know Dangerous Dan Spivey, who does rehab work for drug and alcohol addicts, and you have you for depression and CTE, which CTE is a very, very close subject to me because a lot of times with wrestling and football, you know, sometimes there's some promoters and some teams that want to rush you out there, and it gets to the point where you walk away from it and you're a millionaire and your brain is jelly, you know, literally. Like you don't know what to do. You're like a 3-4-year-old again.
Yeah, I mean, it's bad, but like I said, these people have nowhere to go. So when they have nowhere to go, you got to step up, get with some other like-minded people, some people that know more than you, some people that know more in the field, and create somewhere for them to go. But with that, we got to wrap this up because me and you got things to do tonight. So,
Well, yeah, real quick, tell people where they can find you.
you can find me on Facebook, Men on a Mission to Legacy. You can email me at casanova8 at yahoo.com. And, I mean, that's pretty much it.
What about the
you
show?
You could always get in touch with me.
What about the Not Your Mama's radio show?
Oh, Not Your Mom's radio show every Thursday, 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time. My bad, thanks.
Well, shouts out to Dreamy Mimi, shouts out to Sir Mo, and I also would say, well, Sir Oscar, by the way, I hereby knight thee.
Well, thank you.
So thank you very much, and it's a pleasure seeing you, and I would love to have you back on the show in the future.
All right, I'd love to be back.
All right, thank you.
I literally forgot that I mentioned the Survivor Series 1993. Wow. Yeah, to many people, that was one of the worst work matches ever. It was actually one of the worst match of 1993 by many, many critics. But like Oscar said, it was entertainment. The kids loved it. They fell for it. And plus, everybody got paid, which to some people, that's more important. Well, it's all about entertainment when you're doing this business. It's not all seriousness. But I thank Oscar again for talking about Men on the Mission and his upbringing in Brooklyn, New York, and his comeuppance in Los Angeles, California. Everybody say, hey, ho. Okay, it doesn't work with me, but our truth can say, whoop, there it is, and all the little kitties pop. But anyway, he does run a podcast called Not Your Mama's Radio, which is on Pipebomb Radio. At this time, they should be making a comeback to the show. So you can catch Not Your Mama's Radio show on Pipebomb Radio and also blogtalkradio.com. Also, I have forgot to leave the links right after the Roman Reigns Heart of a Warrior song by Montezi. You can catch Montezi at www.moretolifeentertainment.com. I can spell that for you, which is MOORETOLIFEENT.com. Also, you can catch Montezi on YouTube under Message Montezi TV, SoundCloud.com/MonteziMore, Twitter.com MonteziMore, and Instagram at MonteziMore. See? It's all just the same thing over and over again, which is not bad, you know, because all you got to do is just remember that one thing and go to the many sites and look him up. He's also sent me more music, so it will be also in the future episodes of ShiLounge. So be prepared to be blown away. I think what he's doing is great. It's also hot. Also, one note about his Twitter. His name is Brock Steiner. It put me back a little bit when I saw that. I'm thinking he's a fan of Brock Lesnar and Scott Steiner, a big man guy. But then again, that could be his flow. His flow, hip-hop flow is heavyweight. But, again, I think Oscar from Men on a Mission, he'll be around another time with ShiLounge. Maybe he got some road stories to tell. Possibly I can get Sir Mo on the show, which I know I will because I want him on the show. But I can get them together and they can spawn a debate or something. Maybe a live show once ShiLounge gets off the ground. Or is it off the ground? I don't know. But as I always say, a guy can only dream. But also, I will be throwing a special DLC episode. Possibly is already released now or it's going to be released after this episode, featuring Linda Kay of Pro Wrestling Report. Unfortunately, I didn't put it on the show because this show was running a little bit too long, over an hour. Plus, I got the music and the interview. So she will be making her appearance on a side note, even though she's a main note on another episode. It's going to be really small, just DLC. Tell me what you think. Leave a comment on SoundCloud. Check it out on iTunes. Stitcher Radio. Then also let me know on Facebook. Facebook.com/shin.blade.808. Twitter.com. Tweet me at Shinsational1. Or just look under Shin-Blade. So do all that. But before I get out of here, I have some upcoming events that I'm going to let you know about when you hear this podcast. January 15th to 16th, I will be in Lancaster, Pennsylvania for Keystone Wrestling, formerly LCW, for 2 shows, one Friday Night Fights, and Saturday featuring Ron Simmons, Sanjay Dutt, and Trevor Lee. I repeat again, WWE legend Ron Simmons, Sanjay Dutt, and Trevor Lee of Global Force Wrestling. Also, the next week, I would be in Rahway, New Jersey for Pro Wrestling Syndicate versus Global Force Wrestling. And that is a lot of talent for me to name. I will name it next week if I can catch my breath or if I have enough time. Being that said, I'm going to close the show. I throw the shy hands out to you, the level of positivity. This is Shin-Blade, the Shinsational one, should I say. And I must say thank you for listening, and I can't